Hi guys, welcome back to another video of IB Pi. Today we're going to be talking about IB Computer Science, SL, and HL. So first of all, what is it? Well, IB Computer Science is a course that is within the Group 4 Science group, and it's rigorous and involves practical problem solving. As the IB puts it, the IB DP Computer Science course requires an understanding of the fundamental concepts of computational thinking, as well as knowledge of how computers and other digital devices operate. These basically involves understanding computer processing, coding, and general computing hardware and networking stuff. And for our course, we learned the programming language of Java. And so what are the prerequisites? Well, there are none, but it's helpful to know a bit of coding beforehand so that you can potentially have more background on it. And it's also helpful if you have like AP Computer Science principles under your belt, because that'll give you some basic coding concepts and knowledge which might help you in the course. And as for the exam, so first let's actually talk about the IA. There is an internal assessment. In the internal assessment, so you basically find a client with a problem that can be solved by coding or computer program, or coding a computer program. So if you don't have a specific client, you can think of certain problems that you might be able to solve through coding, and just have your client be a family member and find some way to apply that problem to their lives. Obviously, it has to be an appropriate difficulty level and have a good deal of skills learned in the course that you learned throughout your course, but it can pretty much solve whatever problem you choose. As for the actual exam, SL has 2 papers and HL has 3. Paper 1 is networking with a little bit of pseudocode and things like that, covering topics 1 through 4 for SL and 1 through 7 for HL. Paper 2 is the option paper, so your teacher kind of chooses which option you guys learn and then will be tested over. There are 4 options, A through D. Depending on what your teacher teaches, you'll pick an option when you take the exam. And then paper 3 is for HL students only, which is a case study that you have to answer questions about. As for the workload, I would say that the majority of the workload for PESH aligned with the AP kids, because for me personally, I was in a combined class where we were with IB kids and AP kids, and so we did very similar things in terms of like the projects and things like that, or any homework assignments, because the material was honestly very similar, although IB has a unique way of testing that material compared to AP. But it also might depend on the teacher, because they might have different assignments based on whether you're in a sole IB class or not, and then but both SL and HL do their IA in the first year, so that they can just kind of get it over with, and HL kids get to edit it and make it better the second year when they actually need to turn it into the IB. So for us personally, in the last month leading up to the exam, we started a random networking unit that we'd never touched on before, because it was going to be tested over on the IB exam, but the AP kids didn't have to know it. So that was a little bit stressful in learning all of that stuff all at once, and there were concepts that we had never even talked about, or maybe at the beginning we did brush over it, but it wasn't super in depth. So I think it depends on how well your IB teacher kind of schedules out and blocks out all of your learning of the IB material, and so hopefully that'll be better for you. Now for the AP exam. I think that it doesn't hurt to take the AP exam, because you're learning very similar material, as I mentioned before, and although the testing situation and format is slightly different, it's definitely possible to score well on the ComSci AP test if you've been in the IB course exam. And like I said, my class was co-seated, so we were learning pretty much everything that AP was learning, other than the networking unit, which was specific for IB. And for my personal opinion, I think that I wouldn't really recommend this class, because I'm just not a super big ComSci person. But if you're someone who really knows that you want to pursue that in the future and are interested in science, engineering, things like that, then potentially it could be something that you'd be really interested in. Or if you're amazing at mathematics and are very logical in that sense, I think it might be a great class for you as well. But again, I'm a little biased in terms of my liking of ComSci, and I acknowledge that, but I think that coding is very practical in a sense, and it may be helpful in the future to just have that kind of basic knowledge of how to code, or just the way that you need to be logical when you're coding and things like that. So I think that if you're a kid that did coding camps ever since you were a kid, or if you like know 5 different programming languages or anything like that, then this class is definitely going to be a breeze for you. Alright, so thank you guys so much for watching. That's all I have for you today. And please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and share it with your friends if you have any friends that are interested in potentially doing comp sci for IB. And let us know if you have any questions down below in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!